This is my avatar, and the special guest on my show is a partner at the company that created me. This is a conversation you don't want to miss.
And talk about some actual strategic ways that we can leverage AI technology in business.
Oh boy, good morning and happy Wednesday, everybody. I am so excited for a special guest we have this morning. I've known Jill for probably a little over a year right now, and she's just working this amazing space in technology, and it's just an incredible field that she is in. I'm so excited to have been a part of it and to be able to make my own avatar and the uses for this type of technology, if you will, or whatever you want to call it. It's just absolutely incredible and limitless what you can do for your company. And it's just insane. I'm so excited to be able to talk about it. I'm actually really a little nervous because Jill makes me nervous, but she knows that. We won't tell her that. So what we're going to do is we're going to do another quick video, and then we'll bring Jill on and we'll talk all things avatars. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment below and we'll see if we can get some answers for you. So hang on real quick.
Hey, Jill, do you think that our custom avatars can ride bikes like we do in the real world?
I don't know, JC, but if they can, I think mine would beat yours just like their old Jill does on the road.
Geesh, can't I even appear in digital form without you giving me a hard time?
Now, what would the fun in that be?
Let's just go back to the real versions of us and talk about some actual strategic ways that we can leverage AI technology in business.
Awesome. Jill, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
You know what? It's a good day getting to share about AI, synthetic media, communication strategies. It's a good topic to discuss.
Yes, I know you always get excited to get talking about things that you love most. So I'm excited to have you here. Thank you so much. How did we do with the intro video?
The intro video is so fun. I love seeing the creative ways. And like everyone who's listening, this was done very, very rapidly, right? This was probably less than about 5-10 minutes in generating and editing, maybe 15 total. So that's a very rudimentary example of what AI can help you accomplish.
Yeah, I mean, I've got an amazing team doing the support in the back end that put that video together. And I gave them the task last night at like midnight, and it was done before I woke up, piecing all together just because of the videos that we were to get from Render. And it's just incredible how simple and usable it is in multiple platforms. So, thank you for being here. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, what you're doing, and we'll go from there.
Aside from the fact that I make you nervous, because I did hear that.
I did.
Well, it's very fascinating when I look back over my career. If I were to draw a personal Venn diagram for kind of who I am and what my interests are in a professional sphere, it would be at the intersections of communication, technology, and education. So even saying those three things together probably fits exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing now with this synthetic media side. But for over a decade, I was actually a faculty member at Arizona State University, taught business communication, started up one of the, I think it may actually be now the largest state university online campus in the country, and have been playing with tech in many different ways, but from the communicative angle, not the programming and coding angle, although I can nerd out on that a little bit too, but really getting to know that and how it impacts people, because tech is cool. There's a lot of shiny new objects. I know you like shiny objects too, but they're only good if they are utilized correctly and they actually make an impact. So when this technology came along and I learned about it from people that when I lived in New York City, I connected with a lot, I thought, this is maybe something that I want to jump on board with.
I love it. So a little bit about Jill. Like I said, I've known you for a little over a year. You wrote 2 books. You're working on your 3rd book. 4. Oh, wow. All right. Excuse me. Wow. You're going to school for your doctorate. Entrepreneur, world traveler, speaker, presenter, coach. What am I missing? I mean, like super ant.
Yes. Yeah. Iron Man. Thank you very much.
Nice.
Competitive, not so competitive, just with UJC cyclist and bourbon cocktail enthusiast.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Jill is a world traveler. She's got, I don't know how many miles she's traveled this year alone. Just on Delta Airlines. It's absolutely incredible.
Oh, did we lose the feed?
What's that?
We lost the feed for a second. What was the last question?
I was just talking about how you're a world traveler and Delta, how many miles you've done this year alone is incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I hit country 44 last week, which was really fun and exciting.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about Render. What got you into the space of working with the two fine gentlemen that I got to meet up in New York City, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. And while I'm discussing this, I would love anyone who is watching live right now to kind of comment in as to maybe why you joined this live segment today, just because I want to make sure that I'm kind of catering some of my answers to the people who are on here live, because that's the value for you, right? Getting to be here, getting your questions answered. So, what curiosity brought you here, what business problem, what, nerdiness, whatever it is, just share that with us in the comments so I can really make sure to cater those. But when it comes to what brought me to working with Render, as I said, I built my first online course in 2003. So playing with technology is not something unfamiliar to me. Ran my first live virtual event in 2008. So when COVID, hit, it was an easy shift for me to be able to do a lot of those things. And after doing online education, the next technology that I got really excited about and was a very early stage user in was Zoom, a technology that, 3.5 years ago, not many people knew about, but now it's ubiquitous. And so when we look at that, I think of when is the last time I got excited about the potential of a technology to communicate and to be used to really further the human existence in some capacity. And that sounds ironic since we're talking about kind of digital clones, but synthetic media, hyper-realistic avatars, digital likeness really appealed to me because I think there's so many ways that can be used in not only very strategic ways, but very efficient and personable ways to make you actually more human.
Right. Yeah. And I got a chance to go up to New York and work with your staff and just see how the whole process works. I've done it both ways, actually. I've done it remote from my office and to actually go to the studio. And, the whole process is pretty simple. You just do a couple of voice recordings and, on the camera, and then you do in the microphone. And about 4 weeks later, we had little JC spit out, and it looks pretty good and it sounds great. So it's amazing how advanced technology is right now to make me in a matter of weeks, and I could just literally send in a script to the site, and then within the 24, 48 hour turnaround time, I've got my avatar speaking my message. And I don't have to sit here in front of a camera and do all the recordings and do the retakes and everything like that. And, we could just constantly just be pumping out avatars for whatever format we're looking to do, whether it's sending a custom message to a client, a thank you, training videos online, whatever it may be. So, what other platforms or where are you guys seeing these used a lot right now?
There's a lot of different ways. What I really want to say in talking about this type of technology, and I think this is really important for any type of AI technology, any type of synthetic media. And, ChatGPT is a buzzword now, right? In November, all of a sudden it took the world by storm. And now there's infinite generations of things that you can program yourself, like Auto GPT, different versions of it. We even installed a custom version of it within our application for our clients to use that helps you with templates and et cetera for scripts. All of these tools are not to replace the human. And I really want to point this out because a lot of people, when they first start coming to this, are like, oh, wow, I never have to be on video again. I'm like, no. This is not meant to replace where you're already doing video, where you already have that workflow. To me, this is to augment your communication, to add a digital presence, to add a digital medium where we know that it would be more impactful and effective, but yet we don't do it because we don't have the time, the bandwidth, the resources, whatever the reason may be. And that's the same thing with tools, in my opinion, like ChatGPT. Yes, they are useful, but as we even talked about earlier this morning, prepping for the show, JC, they're useful, but they're not always correct.
Yeah.
And you really have to pay attention to that and use your time to edit it. It can get you 80% of the way there to a truly decent message. But if you want it to actually retain your credibility, you need to edit it to really make it more authentic to you. But if I can save 80% of my time and leverage my humanness in that way, it's a huge win.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I remember the first time you showed me your first avatar to the avatar you have today, or even my avatar, just the advancement in a year is incredible. So I'm just kind of curious on where do you guys see it going in the next 6 months, year, 2 years?
For me, it's all about the strategy and the use cases for it, right? How we can connect the communicative elements to make these things effective. That's what I'm doing in my doctorate dissertation, is really studying the engagement levels and trust levels of these technologies. So, for example, if people are using this for training purposes, right? Like you have a video out there on, I think it's oxidation or something along those lines, JC. And if you can use an avatar to do that and you achieve the same learning objectives that you would as if you were on video yourself, then it's a shortcut to time. Now, are you going to use it for every single piece of training? No, because some trainings are more important than others. Training on company culture and humanness and leadership, right? You wouldn't do full on with an avatar unless you scripted it to make a joke, right? But you could use your avatar to augment some of that. So when it comes to use cases and where this is going, it's really looking at areas in your business where personalization and customization would move the needle more. So for example, let's talk about your, Christmas lighting business, right? Patriot Illumination. You have tons of different clients that you serve, and you have different members of your team that are going out to serve each and every one of those clients. One of the things that would be amazing is if people kind of knew who was coming to their home before they even got there. So you have, avatars for all your key leaders, your team leaders, one of them is going to be on every single project that you do. And then you're able to submit a script. Let's say, JC, you're the team lead for sake of example here. And you say, hello, Mr. or Mrs. or first name or whatever you're going to do, right? You just pull this data straight from your CRM. You can automate everything. You say, my name is JC. I am the team leader from Patriot Illumination who's going to be there on insert date to install insert name of project. And we're really looking forward to insert whatever the goal was when you had your onboarding call. Just wanted to let you know, this is my face. This is what I look like. So you know who to look for on, whatever date. Again, reminder, we'll see you at this point in time. Let me know if we have any questions. Now, I will tell you as, a homeowner, someone showing up to my home that I've never met before is sometimes intimidating. So now you have this personal touch. You've worked very, very little to do it. You've created one master script. You're optimizing your CRM. You're sending all of that data there. And then boom, you're producing this video and sending it out as a personal touch. Those type of use cases that make your customers feel more secure. They get that personalization and customization, and they're actually getting some relational embodiment of you to make the real meeting go easier. This is a huge, huge win. And this is just in one industry. Now let's extrapolate that to hundreds of others.
Yeah. And so speaking of industries, what industries are you seeing really the most that are just buying into this and having the most benefit out of it right now?
So we have a handful. So we have some people, I'd say there's kind of two categories. There's more of the kind of solo business owner, like yourself. You may have a team too, right? Who is starting to experiment, to play with it, to leverage their, physical appearance in the digital space more, getting your name and likeness out there, being able to produce content rapidly and using it in that way. It's kind of like me with my business, my non-member business, the Dynamic Communicator. I use this for pre-meeting calls when I need to remind clients to send in certain information so I can leverage our time better, send it as, cheesy thank you videos, and then customize it by putting custom backgrounds or images from a live event, whatever it may be, using it for proposals, because most people send out proposals. It's like, hey, here's our contract, or here's our proposal, and bam, here's this piece of paper. And we assume that people are reading those in the way that we intend them. And that is a very, very false assumption.
Yeah.
So I work with people to analyze all of their communicative gaps along their customer life cycle, their sales life cycle, whatever that may be. And where you have ambiguity, where you often get frequently asked questions, where you often get any sources of hesitation or pushback, these are key indicators that what you are currently communicating is not enough and is not clear enough, because you still have resulting uncertainty in your customer. And that customer could be an internal employee too, if we're talking about internal training purposes. So that's one side of the equation. The other side, and the side that I love that for sure. I use it. That's how I got started. I was actually a customer number 3 with this company before I became a partner over a year and a half later. And the other side is when you have, let's say, a franchise model or a model where a centralized message is best disseminated or delivered by individual local or regional voices. So, for example, a dental office conglomerate. This dental practice may be founded by one key dentist, but has 20 different locations that are in different cities around the state. And, Dentist Bob may be the brand name or maybe the owner of this, but you know what? Me in North Topsail Beach, North Carolina, doesn't know Dentist Bob. I know Dentist Cheryl. And so whenever I'd get messages, I would want to see Dentist Cheryl. So you can create these amazing templates and custom messages as a franchise, but then have it delivered in all of your local voices, which again is a good experience for the customer. So those are kind of the 2 categories that we work with.
Awesome. So we got a question here.
Good question, Sean. Thank you. You want me to just dive right in, or do you want to add any context?
Go for it.
So when it comes to legal rights and human likeness, super important, right? Super important. The security is important. We have multiple contracts you sign, multiple affidavits you check, multiple, agreements like I will not use this in nefarious ways for X, Y, Z, all of these different purposes. And then on top of that, if it's done through a company, there needs to be an exclusive legal document indicating the uses and the abilities of both the company and the owner, or embodiment, should I say, of the digital likeness and how you can use it. So one client that I have right now, we actually worked, this was a months and months process to really get their legal team to wrap their head around it because it's new, right? It's completely new. And in doing that, the decision was the company is paying for this digital likeness. The person signed off on getting this done for the company to use. And they agree that they are not going to use it in any instances outside of the company. And then there's a centralized point where, yes, things can be generated, but they then have to be authorized by both parties to be used. Gotcha. And so that's where it goes. But to answer the second part of that, for example, using my avatar once I'm no longer part of an organization, that's where you put that in your terms when you're making that. Are they going to allow you to use that digital likeness, that embodiment of you, or do they want you to create another one that looks a little different? Maybe you're wearing something different. Your hair is done different. I know, JC, you have a million different hairstyles to choose from. So with that, you have to really spell it out, and it's still legally in its infancy. I would say even in pre-conception right now, with as fast as laws and stuff develop.
So speaking of switching things out, do you guys have the capabilities, or is there something you're working on where you can change like the shirt color or things like that, or no?
That's one of the number one questions that we have, or the second one is, can you make me look 10 pounds lighter? Can you fix, whatever this is? No, we can't at this point in time. And will it come eventually? Yes. There are some technologies out there right now that we have one of our customers who's an amazing user playing with, where she actually wore a solid color shirt intentionally. So then that could be cropped out with some AI things and replaced. The quality's not there. It's just not there yet. You know what? Within a year, I wouldn't be surprised if it is, but it's just not there yet. So when people are creating these, I tell people, wear an outfit, and we have a guide that walks you through all of this, right? Using our avatars appropriately enough. That is something that no matter what audience you're using this in is going to lend credibility to you. And then if you want to add another avatar into your portfolio, for example, with the shirt you're wearing now, JC, we can add additional avatars. You just need to go through the process again, which for the video cloning is about an hour. In total, that includes makeup and touch-ups, even for gentlemen, because stage lighting is a real thing, and then 30 minutes of audio training.
So if I want to go back, I'd have to do the video and the audio, or can I just do the video since I got the good audio?
Just the video. You already have the audio nailed. We do, however, I would say about every 6 months, and you'll probably get an email, let's see, this fall about that, but about every 6 to 8 months, we get updates in audio. Our team works so hard on testing different things, on leveraging, on multiplying the partners that we interact with to kind of test things in this space. So constantly evolving. And part of working with a company, right, that focuses on only custom avatars and only custom likeness is that we stay on top of that and keep adding those to make your product better.
So we got another question here.
Great. Any test campaigns on social media? This is a great question, Jeremy. We as a business have not, our users have. And so with the data that we have right now, in terms of using it, I'll go first on YouTube, because YouTube's kind of a social media, kind of not, depending on who you talk to. I definitely think it is.
Yeah.
With YouTube, this person just tossed the avatar in a video and didn't tell anyone, didn't do anything. And the engagement rates were equal to what other videos were getting on average, and not a single person commented in about it. Now, this person didn't disclose it was an avatar. Me, I'm a huge fan of disclosing that it's an avatar. I always work it in some cheeky way into my script because it's a cool factor as far as I'm concerned, right? But when you have great video, when you have a good editor, when you have some B-roll coming in, custom backgrounds, movement around, there's a lot of people who are actually better in avatar form than they are live on video. And so there's a huge, huge benefit to that. Other tests that we've done with clients, people have done them. Some have Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. They use them for very specific purposes. And those people in the test that I am thinking of right now all disclose in some way that it's their avatar, but they do it in a way that relates their brand. So one person, for example, is on managing stress and resilience. And hey, this is me leveraging my time, managing my stress level. I want to deliver, and here's how I'm going to do it. Another person is about innovation. Well, that's an easy right. You know, you don't need to script anything from there. And another one is on business building. And again, it's talking about productivity. It's talking about how you reach your customer. And so the messaging on how you use this too, I feel, is very essential.
Good points. Jamie, I don't know. It just makes me laugh.
You know, sometimes, Jamie, it's true, because you can, you know, type into the avatar and not go off the cuff. And sometimes that's good. And I see Jeremy's comment in there too, as I'm following along on my phone as well. And no, Jeremy, we cannot make.
I'm already a bodybuilder. Look at that, Jeremy. I'm telling you. All right. So this is a big question. I'm sure that everybody's going to be wondering right now. So what's the typical cost? And, you know, do you see the price changing as technology develops, or?
So I actually, before I answer that question directly, and I'm not trying to avoid it, I will totally answer that straightforward. JC knows, those of you who are meeting me, you'll hopefully know that I'm a no BS person. We'll get straight to the point there. But before I answer that, I want to differentiate something that came up in one of the comments, JC, when you were posting about this, about synthesia. Do you want to refresh that for everyone?
Oh, I have to go find it real quick. Talking about synthesia. Yeah, that's
synthesia.
Synthesia.
See,
yeah,
look,
so
and
that's
this
the thing. You know, why would somebody want to go with a custom avatar with render when we can just go buy some generic ones for probably a fraction of the cost?
Yeah, and this is important. So synthesia, you know, and your avatar would say that correctly, by the way. Synthesia is actually our partner. We are their only certified studio partner to produce custom avatars. So the video cloning process that we use is actually based on the same technology that they evolved and developed for stock avatars. So stock avatars are avatars that, you know, some actor, actress, person has said, yes, you can use my digital likeness and put this in your platform and people can use it. And while there's agreements that say I'm not going to use these for nefarious purposes, etc., it was in February, there was a massive article in the New York Times about some real fake news, just a lot of that hate speech type things that were actually generated using these stock avatars. And it caused everyone then who was using that same avatar face to then go evaluate, like, oh my gosh, I'm using this likeness too. And if that was someone's first exposure to this face, you are actually putting your business name and credibility at risk. We actually, in our company, one of the uses for stock avatars is when you want a little diversification within your video. You want it to not just be you. Maybe you want to role play a little bit. Maybe you just want someone else to explain a concept, when, you know, it would be better for you to be, hey, I'm talking from a leadership level and this is a tactical level. So you want to have play off of each other. But you have to be really careful, because just like any stock photo that you get online and repurpose for a website or a social post or whatever, you don't know what other instances that is used in. So Synthesia does have great subscription opportunities. I think they start around like $4,000 to use their platform. They go up to $8,000. And, you know, unlimited usage or something for the stock avatars and how they're generated. But again, you have the stock avatar, you have the voice. Sometimes that may be a good situation and a good solution. I like it when it's paired with something in your likeness, because if you're a business owner, a business leader, a thought leader, however you want to position yourself, you are your brand. Whether you have your own business as an entrepreneur or whether you're working at a company, you still have a personal and professional brand. So for me, the custom thing helps you maintain that. It also helps you stay not only on the leading edge, because it's cool in a way, but only if it's strategic for you. So to answer the question directly from our cost side, to generate the avatar and your vocal clone. So it's, you know, video cloning process, vocal cloning process, that's $2,000. And that is a one-time fee. You are not paying that again. And if you want to generate a second avatar, we discount that heavily. So you just have to go through the video cloning process again. And we add that to your account. So you could have multiple options to choose from if you wanted to. You know, JC, you have 2 business brands. If you wanted one for, you know, Christmas lights, if you wanted one for, you know, power washing, you can do 2 separate things. With that, then, once you have an avatar, you have to get a subscription. And this is an annual subscription. So they start at $2,500 for the year and go up to $4,000 a year. And they're credit-based. So you get a specific number of credits for that. And you use those credits to generate video clone, vocal clone, 1 credit each. So for example, at the highest price point that you're going to pay per video, if you use your video clone and your vocal clone, like in the examples JC has shown you in this stream at the very beginning, you're going to be using 2 credits. Our bottom base plan is $2,500 for 100 credits. So that's $50 for that video. And that is the absolute highest price point. What?
It was worth the $50. That's what I'm saying. Like, it was, you know, I didn't even think about it, but like just how easy and simple it made it and user friendly it was for us that, yeah, just the content. You just be able to, oh, go ahead. There's more.
No. But if you have the pro plan like you do, so let's rewind that back. The pro plan like you do, you get 300 credits. So then max, you're paying $26 per video. And that is something that I didn't have to go on camera. I didn't have to set up my mic. I didn't have to set up lighting. And even if you have a studio in your home, you can authorize a user, such as your virtual assistant or a member of your team, a marketing person, a social media manager, whatever it is, to submit orders on your behalf. They're called an authorized user. So they submit an order on your behalf, and then you, as the ultimate digital likeness owner, then approve, you know, using that, downloading it, having that there. So it's a really great way to leverage that. And so then the other option, because some people want a little more inflection in their voice for certain things than technology can give, although it's getting pretty dang good, is if you use your video avatar, but you upload your own audio or record audio directly in the application, that's only 1 credit. So then it's either $25 or $13 a video to generate that using your likeness. Over time, we keep adding more features. So the cost, I imagine, will remain relatively consistent, but then getting more for that cost as technology advances. So I think of it in a way that if I am wanting to generate multiple videos and do this strategically, I can generate a longer script. You can generate up to 5 minutes per submission. And in doing that, could then have my team chop it up, could be more strategic about, you know, how you're leveraging that in your business. But again, if I think of how much time it takes me to, I mean, JC, you may wake up like this. I do not wake up like this. So my avatar does each and every day. So the time I save, even though this may be like my 10-minute look, 10 minutes, is that worth $13, $25, $50 to me? It absolutely is, because there's so much more I could be doing with my time.
No, and I love that too, because I know a lot of people will be like, oh my God, you know, $2,500 for this and $2,000 for that. That's a lot of money. But then you break it down. Like, how many times do we do videos where we're just re-editing or reshooting, we mess it up, and you're spending an hour just to get a good 30-second to a minute video because you got to set the camera up, set the environment up, get the audio ready, you know, make yourself look good. Then you got to like edit it all, or just hit submit and I can focus on other things. And then the next day, the video is already done. I don't have to worry about anything, and then apply it where you are. So don't look at that 50 or 26, whatever it was, as like a high expense. Look at how much time it would have taken you to make the video, and how much time you're saving, and how quickly you can put them out. So,
well, and it's again, leveraging your humanness, right? So we know, let me geek out with you a minute here. You said I was a super nerd, and I'm going to give you some data. When we look at studies, so whether it's in marketing, education, customer experience, brand loyalty, everything that any business leader in whatever capacity would be like, well, yeah, that all sounds good. And then what I find most interesting is a concept called agency of choice, which means giving your viewer choice in how they consume content. Those are factors that lead to more engagement, to brand loyalty, to repeat business, all of these different things. For example, you get an email from someone that's all text that communicates something. You get an email from someone that's text with an image still shot that links to a video. Even if you don't click on that video, that there is a video there communicates a certain level of effort and time and professionalism spent on that message. So merely by providing that choice, you've now changed someone's neurological thought process on how they are looking at that email that comes out. So add that then to the ability to rapidly personalize, to do it more strategically with integration within a CRM or something, to be able to give customized messages to strategic clients. And you really have something. I tell people, your top 20% of your clients typically give you 80% of your business, the 80-20 rule there. You're not going to change how you serve them. I'm hoping you're serving them, in a very personalized and customized way. This is really how you leverage yourself to get to the rest of your clientele. And again, augment for the positive your life cycle experience as they're going through their interactions and relationships with you and your business.
No, I love it. It's absolutely incredible. So Jill, if people want to learn more about this, because this is new, it's new to a lot of people. And just like ChatGPT several months ago, nobody really knew what it was. And just, it's fun seeing the development of what you guys are doing. Is there a way for them to learn more?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you actually put it in the chat earlier before we started, but if you don't mind putting it in the comments, because I think you have that ability as the host of this and I don't,
okay.
The link that I sent you, but we actually have a public learning event coming up on May 10th, and it's free. It's virtual, it's free. And if you can't make the time, it'll be recorded. You just have to register, obviously, so you get it. And this is really going to be talking about looking at synthetic media and AI, and now how you can integrate all these things in strategic ways to leverage your time. So I'll be talking about kind of the evolution of communication as it comes from a business perspective. So you can kind of see where these technologies, from my perspective, fit into the equation. We'll talk about, I think it's 6 or 7 different life cycle steps that most people in their businesses, no matter what role you play, have with your engagements with your customers, with your clients, with your coworkers, etc., and show you a lot of examples on how you can really merge all of these things together. Again, not to auto produce things, because I am very much not okay with that. We still need to be conscientious of it. We still need to check, because you can see people posting stuff from ChatGPT, and while it sounds and looks good, I'm like, interesting. If I type in a question on this, what's going to come out? And boom, that exact same thing comes out. And my hypothesis is legally, there's going to be some plagiarism issues, copyright issues, and things like that coming down the pike. So it's just really important to be conscious of that and, understand where that integration is going. But yeah, this event, I'm really pumped about this. I'll actually be doing it. Our headquarters is in Burlington, Vermont. So I'll be flying up to the studio there, doing it live, hopefully adding tons of value to everybody. Because teaching, again, I love it so much.
I'll definitely be tuning into that. If anybody has any questions, we're getting ready to get off. So if you have any questions, feel free to shoot them below in the comments. Jill would love to answer them. And like I said, again, it's incredible what you guys have done, what you're doing. And now that you actually did the cost breakdown too, like I didn't think about that, like of how cost effective it is to do these videos. And we need to do a better job on our company. But like the videos that we posted today and shared in here, I had nothing to do with them. My virtual assistants and my EA, Alex and Belt, like they took care of all that. I did nothing. I just said, this is what we need. And then they're working on the back end to be able to produce them. So it's pretty simple and flawless that you don't have to spend the time to do it.
And what's fascinating, because I am a data geek and I looked at this, I scrolled down, stalked your page for a little bit today. And if you look at the engagement numbers on those videos versus some of your others, I think you'll be really interested to see where those landed for, again, what relatively minimal effort you put into it. And so it's really looking at that data, understanding that, and knowing where it can be used. And one thing that, in terms of analyzing the cost, and for people on the line who have trainings that already exist, maybe you have recordings, you've done podcasts, you've done streams or whatever, in every single one of these, you'll have snippets that were brilliant, because that's what we do, right? We have these like moments of excellence that come across and you're like, oh crap, I should have written that down. But what you do then is, with synthetic media in this way, you take audio excerpts from those and then pair them with your avatar. Now you're down to 25 or 13 bucks a video, right? So it's so many ways of leveraging what you already have that exists. And it's tips like that, and then leveraging website content, traffic views, hacking Google algorithms in terms of getting more video, multimedia up there, all of these like nerdy, geeky things, how you can augment training and make it so that someone else could build it at any point in time in your company for internal or external use. All these things are what is possible. And it's really now finding out how much we can do in meaningful ways with the technology, and not just, throwing the spaghetti at the wall like a lot of people are doing with, different GPT iterations, DALL-E, etc.
Love it. I love it. All right, Jill, thank you so much for your time today. I mean, you're just incredible. The knowledge that you dropped for us is, it's phenomenal. So thank you. Now, if anybody wants to find some more information or get a hold of you, what's the best way to do that?
You're all on Facebook right now. So, just find me on Facebook, JC tagged me in the posts, but I am at Dynamic Jill, pretty much everywhere, LinkedIn, etc. info@dynamicjill is the easiest email to get me. But you can also find me all over Render, because my avatar's face, which is not me, this is real me, my avatar's hair is much more polished, is there everywhere. So you can definitely find me, but reach out, Facebook, DM, whatever it is. Happy to answer your questions. I am very much like, this is not meant to be a sales pitch whatsoever, more educational of what's possible. So if you have questions of like, hey, this is what I think I would use it for, have you heard anyone doing this, or do you think this would be strategic based on, your experience in communication with technology, I'm happy to answer. That's what I'm here for.
I love it. You got any parting words for everybody?
No, the biggest thing I can say is, in looking and examining any technology, it's just like any tool that exists. It's about how it's used, and then also about how it's received. And there is not one single best practice for any type of communication. There is no this always works situation. And so it's really about finding, yes, looking at how other people are using it, but then thinking strategically about your use case, your audience, your personal brand, your business or professional brand, if you're an entrepreneur, and how you want to leverage it strategically. And not just, as I said earlier, throwing that spaghetti on the wall to see which noodle is going to stick, right? And not make its way down and make a mess. That's not what you want to do.
Nixie tried that this weekend, so
I'm sure she did, right?
Still trying to peel it off the wall. It stuck. Yeah. All right, thank you so much, Jill. You're amazing, incredible. Love being, being able to work with you and being able to get out there and just create my own avatar. You're going to see a lot more stuff coming out from it here in the near future. So again, if you want to know more about the avatar community or what it can do for your company, get a hold of Jill. And I tagged the link below for her training. So be sure to check it out. It is free. What's the worst that happened? You're free and just get to hear Jill talk more about some amazing technology out there. So thank you, and we will see y'all later.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.